Clash Royale.
Ace Match Sunday has come to the grand postseason playoffs here of Pro League. We've already reviewed, or rather, shown our players here that are going to be playing in the Ace Match to decide who's going to win day number 1 between KT and SKT.
And here you have the two players that will be playing in that Ace Match, Stats versus Sorry, or INoVation. His jersey says Sorry, but he has nothing to apologize for here tonight after he actually just won the last game. And after you see the results here from the voting, a lot of Stats fans out there.
The ghost prediction, we still don't know where Wolf is.
Literally,
is he still on the bus or not?
Wolf. Yeah, we'll get back to you guys on that one. But yeah, a lot of predictions going for Stats.
What do you predict here?
I mean, I'm a big Terran fanboy, so it's always hard to escape my bias. But Stats obviously seems like the stronger player. He's been fielded a lot for KT this season, and I don't really see any problems with him, at least so far. PBT, we'll see how that works out, and the map will be New Gettysburg.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. Generally, we get to see these really long, drawn-out games, and between these two players specifically, I think we definitely will. Both of them very confident in the long macro games. Their multitasking is both really on point. We're playing the game now of how close can we zoom in into the players before they join the lobby.
Sooner or later, we get to see those pores on their faces, man.
Yeah,
although they
we're
both
trying
have
to pressure
makeup on,
them into joining the lobby right now. That's what's going on, guys.
Get in here. And if you guys are out there but not in here, then get in here too. If it's like, I'm going to make a classical literature reference. If it's like Jane Eyre and you're hearing our voice from afar calling to you, that's because you're supposed to be watching Pro League. And that is the best place to be on the planet Earth here tonight. We even have like Tasteless in the audience watching Pro League. That's some hashtag passion out there. So if he can do it, you can do it too. The last match, the 7th match, the Ace Match. So many cards to be, and this match had to be the Ace.
Yeah.
Because it's
a couple of aces here for both these teams. You know, it's kind of interesting that they send out INoVation instead of Dark. I wonder if they didn't want to face against a Protoss, because the chances of having a Protoss come out on this map from KT is so high. You got Zest, you got Stats.
Right.
If it's not going to be them, it's going to be TY, but they were probably feeling like he wasn't going to come out today on this map specifically. He played a great, specific best-of-1 build for Dusk Towers. He did his job. I wouldn't actually put my hope and my my day 1 chances on TY for this day. So it makes a lot of sense to send out INoVation here if he's confident against Protoss on this map.
And so this is sort of that Myung-Shik-esque chance where you really get to prove yourself in a high-pressure situation to take this win for SKT. Now, keep in mind, this is not the end. It's a best of 3 of best of 7s. So we have a best of 7 today, and then we have another best of 7 tomorrow. And if a team wins those first 2, then they just advance to face off against Generic Green Wings in the finals. But, of course, if it does go 1-1, then we will have games here on Tuesday to decide which team will advance. And at that point,
the true epic day.
Yeah, you'll get to know where the Pro League finals are being held.
Ace day instead of Ace Match. That's what Tuesday is like once it gets to 1-1.
Day of aces. Well, here we see our two players once again for today's match, looking good, although you can never really tell what's going on inside INoVation's mind, because he is a robot. And here we go, we're getting into game, guys. Tell your friends, get them in here. Game number 7, the Ace Match between KT Rolster and SK Telecom T1 starts right now.
Down here in the bottom right, in the red from KT Rolster, our Protoss player, it is Stats.
In the black versus, Stats is in the black, in the red and the white, with Sorry on his back. Will he be sorry about his performance today? It's INoVation.
Well,
probably not.
Stats has already lost 1 game on this map against Myung-Shik.
That is true.
Was it PvP, a different matchup? Is he confident against Terran on this match? On this map, rather? I'm not 100% sure.
All I hope we don't see is that wacky Cyclone build again. I mean, it's maybe a little bit better versus Protoss because you can snipe down those early pylons, but it's a build that when it first came out, people looked at it and was just like, okay, that's actually just so broken. When you go out with an early push, snipe the pylon, then there's no overcharge early on, which is really the function of overcharge. Like protects Protoss from these super early crazy rushes. But if you don't have that, then maybe that's where the Cyclone comes in, but it might not be the strat that we see here from INoVation here in game number 7.
Yeah, New Gettysburg, a bit of a different map too. It's hard to get up the ramp. You definitely can. It's an option to you. It would be a pretty tricky build to throw out on a map like this for sure. He does start off with gas first, which means that he does want to tech up as soon as possible here. Is it just going to be a drop, or is it going to be... I mean, it could be a Cyclone here. You drop down a factory and then you go into a tech lab after one Marine. It's possible. So, I mean, we have to wait and see what kind of tech path INoVation is going to choose from here.
Yeah, and we don't see anything revealed really for either player. Standard builds across the board with an expansion already started for stats. Nothing quite yet for INoVation, but we actually... Okay, wow. At any time I see INoVation, wait this long before taking base, my heart starts to beat a little bit faster, getting those palpitations going on. Okay, those aren't SCVs, guys. Okay, there it is. Whew. Okay, we're not one base into guys. We are actually going to have a little bit of a more standard game. Stargate is coming out here for INoVation, and should be a while until we see a Starport out or Stargate's coming out for stats. Yeah. Starport might come out for INoVation, but it looks like he's going to stay on factory tech for a little bit longer.
The Cyclone is interesting because you can pressure on this map very fast through the bridge, but also it's great against Stargate openings, just in a defensive manner, right? Yep. You can come out onto the map, you can get up right up against that Adept and win that fight with a lock-on. He can't really get away unless he gets lucky with the Shade. And then you could just go back into your base and defend against Oracle Harass as well. And then that means the entirety of the Protoss' build has just been totally held off. And, I mean, you see that Adept go up and he sees the Cyclone and immediately he just backs off because he can't win that fight. He can't get through the wall here at the top of the ramp. So he just has to run away. And so no damage, no real scouting from that Adept outside of seeing the Cyclone build.
Yep, and I think a lot of Terrans kind of figured that out. They're like, well, wait, what units are Protoss going to make early on? It's like, well, it's going to be Adepts and maybe Stalkers, and Cyclones do great against those. The only problem is that it has to do with the numbers that are out. So now we get a chance to see how well Cyclones do against Oracles. Spoiler alert, they still do pretty well, but they actually do have to be there. So we'll see whether or not that Cyclone can get back in time because the Oracle's about to hit this base.
There's no Widowmine in the main. There's nothing. Man. He has no defense.
The saddest SCVs taking one for the team. That Marine needs to get out of there, man. Marine, you are not supposed to be there, and he lives a very sad and unproductive life.
Look at how much damage this is getting done.
Oh my God.
Free. 10 SCVs, 11. He runs out of energy, 12, okay. But he's got his damage done already. He's taking a third base too. Oh boy. That is one of the most valuable Oracles we have ever seen here.
Yeah, it's the MVO award. We never give that out, but this time we might have to. Yeah, getting a lot of damage done. That Cyclone just not in position. Had to wait so long before coming out here. Now, with the first Phoenix coming out, we're starting to see this transition, or this real commitment into a lot of, not a lot, but just early air.
And we have a second factory on the way. I don't even know what to think from this. SKT, all of their Terrans are just like, no, mech is the way. It's like 1 week of practicing, they're like, nope, mech is the way. But is it going to be the way when you lose this many SCVs? Look at this, the cheeky Phoenix coming in here too. He actually might lose that Oracle. One more hit.
Oh my God. That is not, that's the anticlimactic Oracle. I've had relationships that are a lot like that Oracle, where you think you're about to do something that's just going to be like so awesome, you're just going to kill it, but then you don't kill it and it narrowly escapes. That's like my relationship with like the bug in my apartment.
Yeah, oh boy. No, tell me about it. We've all been there.
And Korea's got scary bugs, man. We're not seeing a Zerg player play, so I can't really like transition that into a joke that actually makes sense, but
it's okay. I get where you're coming from. I live next to a forest now, like
Oh,
a park.
really?
Yeah, we got a lot of interesting bugs. Some new ones that I've never even seen too. I'm like, wow, okay.
Just call them
Not sure
features,
if I
man.
enjoy this. Features of
Yeah.
the apartment? Yeah, they come with the apartment.
Not bugs, they are features. So we're starting to see this third base come up really well established here by Stats, and it looks like everything is good in the Protoss department for INoVation. Base behind, he's got a lot of Cyclones.
I don't even know what to
sitting
think
still.
right now.
He does have that third command center, and that's one of the Terran builds that we've really seen figured out for just during the season. You go that many orbitals early on, just in case you lose a lot of SCVs, you can remake them, and that early harass is really less impactful than it should be. Although if you look at the worker count right now, he's still behind 20 workers, so still very, very successful. And here comes in that 10 HP Oracle again, trying to see if he can get anything else done.
The question for me here is, we kind of have an idea of how this is going to play out. He's going to make a ton of Cyclones and probably get the upgrade at some point when he can afford it. He's going to add in some tanks, I assume, unless it's going to be literally just Marine Cyclone for a long time.
Well, you know what they say about people who assume things, Brendan? They make really good casters.
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Sometimes you're right and sometimes you're wrong. Is he going to be able to hold this off?
All right, +1 just now finishing, so that's actually might be pretty big here. Lock-ons onto some of those depths, but that is actually a lot of Protoss. We'll see if those lock-ons will do it, because there's a drop in the main, and this already very heavily taxed workforce here for INoVation might not last very much longer.
The supply duplicate being down here is huge. He's going to decimate that entire natural mineral line as well as the main, and he can just shade all over this base. I don't care if you're going mech, if you're going bio, if you're going to take this much damage, you are going to lose the game. These resonating blades at depths just all over this Terran right now.
But lock-ons, they're not doing enough, man. Unless you have Stratos after that name, you are not going to be able to pull this one out.
He doesn't lift the orbital either. He lets it go to depths.
Okay. I mean, I don't really know what the game plan was. They're like, Adepts, much like Marauders, do not shoot up. And so I feel like the lift there is... I mean, I cannot push buttons as quickly as these guys can, but in general, the ability to push the L button on your buildings as a Terran is something that you need to figure out.
There's just so much pressure, I guess. He was dealing with so much pressure in the main and the natural and the third base. And now he's going for this desperate push with only Cyclones. Blink is about to finish up here, and once it does, the Cyclone's definitely going to be in a world of hurt.
Okay, well, he is actually getting a lot of lock-on kills here, but especially with that Immortal coming out around from the side, this is just not a fight that INoVation can take. With Blink up, oh my god, this is just not going his way. Okay, if he micros every single one of those perfectly, then he's great. But look at these Adepts now, 9 more worker kills. There's 23 workers here.
He doesn't have an economy
base
anymore. He doesn't have anything back at home.
If he had
Even
lost,
if Stats lost his entire army, it wouldn't matter at this point.
Well, I mean, INoVation's the one losing his entire army.
Stats wins, and KT on the back of him is going to take day number 1 in a very, very extended series, going all the way to game number 7.
What a game. You guys got your money's worth, and you didn't even pay anything. So, what a series. What a win there for Stats. And KT Rolster will take day number 1 and go up 1 win in this these Pro League semifinals.
And it kind of looks like the Impact game, where a bunch of Adepts got all around your main and your natural, your third, and he just could not deal with it. You know, the Cyclones, they're very mobile, but if you get pulled apart that hard, that move by Stats to actually draw everything up towards the 4th base of the Terran that wasn't even there, and then drop the main and warp in there, that just really pulled him apart. He had no answer for that, and he took so much damage early on as well. Imagine if he didn't lose 12 SCVs and a Mule to 1 Oracle. The game would have been totally different as well.
Yeah, I mean, so many SCVs just initially, and then the next wave came and was about as bad as the movie named The Next Wave. But either way, a great, very solid win there. And we were actually talking about that when we saw SKT's decision to field INoVation there in the end. It's like, well, he's coming up in a high-pressure situation. We expected to see Dark again, but INoVation just couldn't figure out new things enough there, and we'll lose the Stats. KT Rolster advance 4-3.
In a way, I wanted INoVation to win so that we could talk to him about mech, because this is going to remain a mystery. You know, SKT is going to go home tonight, and nobody's going to talk to him. Nobody's going to find out about why INoVation and Dream are playing mech against both Zerg and Protoss. We're just not going to know.
It's the same like Cyclone start build. Like maybe if you just have infinitely good micro, then you win. But especially like versus that early Zergling, quote unquote, run by.
And even the Oracle too.
Yeah.
You know? In theory, it should work out if your Cyclone's in position.
Right, and initially that's why Terrans would just build that one Cyclone initially to deal with the Oracle, or maybe even against like Banshee harass if you're versus Terran. Like one early Oracle or one early Cyclone, yeah, it was like that one other unit we're talking about, isn't bad, but when you commit to that many, sometimes they just don't stack up in a one-on-one. Stats getting the win there over that Oracle team comp from, there I am saying it again.
Well, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, my buy game curiousness is coming out here tonight, guys, but either way, INoVation able to win with it in his first game that we saw him, and then take a loss there against Stats, and now that